Hey guys, this is pawslap with another video. Okay, so today we are going over the cards I have just made. I just got done with them today, and so we are going over this. As you can see on the screen, I have in front of you Toon Obelisk The Tormentor. Now, obviously, this part's going to be really hard to read right now. It's basically the same thing as Relinquished, it's very tiny. But I can tell you what he does. Basically, what he does is that and since it's a toon, you can't actually, you can't, normal summon it. It's usually special summons. So, let me go ahead and tell you what the effect is. I'm not going to read it word per word, but I can, because I have a little box over here. I'm on Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Maker, so I have this saved. Anyone who wants to know my profile, it's pawslap, same thing as my YouTube. Okay, so the effect is cannot be normal summoned or set. Can only be special summoned by attributing one Obelisk The Tormentor from your hand or deck while Toon World is on the field. The special summon of this card cannot be negated. All spells, traps, and effects cannot be activated till the end phase of the turn this was special summoned. You can tribute one monster on your side of the field to target two monsters on your opponent's side of the field. And probably should say and destroy them. 1 second. Let's see a little flash right there. There we go. And destroy them. Your opponent takes 100 times the total star power of both monsters. So for that specific one, that's actually the start. That's actually I think the last part. Yeah, this is the last part of its effect. Basically, so like this monster has 10 stars. If you would take 10 times 100, you would get 1,000. So you would have 1,000 total of damage if you hit him only. But I mean, this card right now so far is not the best. The effect still has to be low. This monster cannot declare an attack the turn this effect is activated. When Toon World leaves the field, destroy this card. Very simple. I know it's a toon card, and I know usually for toons they can attack your opponent directly. Well, this is a god toon. This is a divine beast, so it's not going to be able to attack directly. So, yeah, in general, this card I think is going to be really great to use. I'm probably going to have a printout or an orca of it. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. And now we're going to go to, let's have Winged Dragon of Ra, since that one was really obtained by everyone. Okay, so we have the Winged Dragon of Ra. You can see it switched. Now, for the Winged Dragon of Ra, the effect I think is a little shorter. But all the same. Okay, so the first part cannot be normal summon or set. Can only be special summoned by attributing one Winged Dragon of Ra from your hand or deck while Toon World is on the field. The special summon of this card cannot be negated. All spells and traps, and effects cannot be activated till the end phase of the turn this card was special summoned. You can pay 500 life points. This is the twist on it. You can pay 500 life points to destroy all of your opponent monsters. You can pay life points to 100. The attack and defense becomes how much life points you pay. This monster cannot declare an attack the turn this effect is activated. So when the effect destroys all your monsters, it cannot attack. So when the effect of, I'm just gonna pay 1,000, I'm gonna pay 500, all your monsters are destroyed, it cannot attack that turn. So that's the only downside to this. I try to make it as much as possible, and try to make it so it doesn't actually overpower it. And then the last part, obviously, when Toon World leaves the field, destroy this card. So it's a very nice card. Toon monsters, they cannot be on the field if Toon World is not on the field. So it can only be this, like the gods, the normal gods, the playable gods can only be summoned by normal or special, Ra being the special summon. But you have to either tribute a certain amount. to get it. Now for Toons, however, that's completing the whole set. It's just having their weakness being, if Toon World's on the field, I can't be summon it. So this should be like it's a very good card. I think, in my opinion, I think it's very good. So we're going to the last guy, and that's SLIFER the Sky Dragon. This is the way overpowered card, in my opinion, and this is going to be declaring out everyone. And so, yeah, if I ever make an Orca of this card, it's going to be high priced if you want to buy it. So, just saying. The effect, here it is. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Can only be special summoned by tributing one SLIFER the Sky Dragon from your hand or deck while Toon World is on the field. That's everyone's. The special summon of this card cannot be negated. All spells, such traps, and effects cannot be activated till the end phase of the turn this was special summoned. I should probably put card there. I'll go ahead and fix that later. This card's attack and defense becomes 1,000 times the amount of cards in your hand. That's the old effect. It's still in here. For every draw phase, this is the big twist. For every draw phase, you can draw one extra card from your deck. Obviously, you get 2,000 attack for each time you draw, so it's a very fast card. When your opponent summons a monster, that monster loses 3,000 attack. That's one of the big differences from the original card, the playable condition, and the card that I have right here. It's all different. So yeah, that was a big difference. If a monster reduced to 0 by this effect, switch that monster to defense position. So that's the other big effect, not trying to make it too powerful. So like the original playable version is, if it reduces down to 0, it's destroyed. This one, if it is reduced down to 0, it is just switched to defense position. So your opponent still has that chance of winning. It's just that the attack of that becomes 0, and you have to use equip cards to do it, to get his attack up. So it just goes that. Other effects are, and while doing that, other effects are negated. So like if there's like, an effect monster that says like, oh, when it's just like when this card affects, when it's turned to 0, you can't activate any effects. Because I know there's a lot of cards that say, oh, affect that. Now you can do spells and trap cards doing that, when a card switches to defense position, I know there's cards out there that do that. But, I also know that there's also effect monsters that do that. So, that other effects are negated. That just helps out, block that. And then, the last part, this monster cannot declare an attack the turn it is special summoned. So, the turn that it is special summoned, it cannot attack. But, after that, it can attack. So that also puts a downfall to it. And when Toon World leaves the field, destroy this card. So, those are my Toons. Those are my new Toon God cards. And the picture right here, it took me a while. I think it took me a week to do for all 3 of them. Because there has to be a certain way you do it. I use Adobe Photoshop. And here, I can minimize it real quick. Adobe Photoshop. And so, yeah, it took me a while. And no, I do not have the contrast, so you can see this one's darker. And if I open up the raw one, you can see that the background of it, is a little lighter because of the actual picture. You want to see the picture. And then off that, Obelisk one, off the background, is, kind of brighter. So, yeah, so these cards are really great. I think they're great because, they have their strong effects, but they also have their weaknesses. So, yeah, I'll try to get these out in Orcas. My username for yugiohcardmaker.net is pawslap, same thing as my YouTube channel. And, yeah, so comment, rate, and, so subscribe, become a mate today. Comment, rate, and I'll see you guys next time. Here comes the paw.